Hello, and welcome back to Unhealthy Discourse. I'm Aaron.
I'm Matt.
Wow, it has been a long time coming, which I do feel as though is our intro every time that we podcast because we just keep taking these long breaks in between. But it's at least we come back to it, right?
Yeah, life happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, people need to chill out.
that is
Um,
so true. That's why
you
I'm
know,
doing yin yoga tonight. You know what yin
Ooh,
yoga is?
no, the opposite
Well,
of
first of all,
yang yoga.
yeah, it might be. I've never done it before, but Googled it for today, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to sign up for it, and then I accidentally signed up for the unlimited classes, so now I'm going to be going every day. But and I also move in 2 weeks, so seems normal. But anyway, it's like you hold the yoga poses for like 3 to 5 minutes instead of
Oh my
like
God.
quickly
Yeah,
moving
isn't
on.
that extremely long? Is this what is the purpose of doing that? To make it
It's supposed to be like
possible?
deeper stretches, and then also there's supposed to be some sort of like emotional release that happens when you hold the stretches for that long. But TBD on that front. I'm not sure. Also, this is warm yin yoga, so the room is not hot but heated.
Jeez.
So I'm going to be sweating a lot.
Wow. I feel like you started off with like you started on the highest difficulty.
That's pretty much how I do every single thing that I've ever done. I just like throw myself into it and I'm like, well, I'm an expert, so should be fine. And then I just look like an absolute fool and then I never go back again because I made a like complete ass of myself.
Well, you have unlimited, so you have to. You really force yourself.
That's true. I also told my sister, I was like, well, I accidentally signed up for this unlimited thing for 1 month. So when I leave, you can just go in my place. And she was like, sounds good.
In my steed. At
Yeah,
least
exactly. Like you're
hopefully you
Aaron.
phrased it that way.
Should have. I should have had you on the phone.
Call me just for that conversation.
Yeah, yeah, just like when I need a synonym, it's like right clicking a word in Microsoft Word. It's just like, all right, thesaurus,
Oh,
Matthew.
that would be great if we had like walkie-talkies and we could do that. Anytime I was looking
Yeah,
for a nice word, I was like, oh, Aaron would know the right word to use here. I could
I
just
probably
check in.
would.
Yeah, I'm sure you
That
would.
would be good. We are in different continents though at the moment,
Yeah,
which
so the current walkie-talkie technology won't work in this situation.
first we invent the technology,
Yeah,
then we implement it in our daily lives.
exactly.
At least we
Exactly.
have a plan.
Well, there are so many billion-dollar ideas on this podcast, honestly, that we give away for free. We should charge people to listen.
Yeah,
Not
I
many
mean,
people
like,
listen yet,
what do
but
they call it? Like Twitter Blue and like, I don't know, Instagram Premium
sh-
something.
sure, yeah, Premium Plus, Ultra, Giga,
Yeah, Meta.
Meta. I don't know. We'll figure it out. There's got to be a,
Yeah.
a Spotify setting to make money from this.
I'm also laughing because I'm looking at my past chats on this account and it has because you are the only person that I ever call on Skype. It has some of my archived chats back to 2014 on here. Um, it also includes two chats from video dates I had in 2020 with people who
Ooh.
I had completely forgotten about.
I think we talked about one of the podcast video dating.
We must have. I mean, I think that comes up in most of our podcasts,
Yeah.
but I haven't been I haven't been dating in months, so there's don't go to the well. There's no water there.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about something else then. So,
Oh yeah.
what do you say we debate peanuts versus peanuts?
Oh my god, where did you come up with that idea? It's genius.
Literally off the top. So,
Well,
today
naturally.
I will be debating peanuts, the food, and
Legume.
Aaron, legume. Aaron will be debating the side of peanuts, le cartoon.
Oh, that was so good.
Uh-huh.
Oh, honestly, the Peanuts cartoons has just like the most special place in my heart. So I do apologize if I get a little emotional.
Well, we'll see.
Have you ever seen a photo of baby Snoopy? There's no way that doesn't pull at your heartstrings.
It does. It definitely tugs at the heartstrings, if not
Okay, good.
outright pulls.
Yeah. Hey, it's a gateway tug.
It's a gateway tug. That's exactly what it is.
Well, are you going first? I feel like I always make you go first, but I feel because I just worked out that I have some like I don't know, I have some endorphins going that I think maybe I'm going to be selfless for once in my life and go first.
Okay, you're feeling first.
This
Go
is
for it.
actually one of the moments where going first is selfless because normally it's like, "Oh, no, you go first." But in this
Yeah.
case, you get a little more preparation. You get to find the holes in the other person's argument, not that there will be any, but then you get to just come in for the kill and expose them if you go second.
Expose. Maybe one day we'll look back and see who went first, who went second, but probably not. All right, then you start. You're on the clock.
All right. So for those of you unfamiliar with the Peanuts cartoons, you may at some point in your life heard of the characters Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Linus, Woodstock, etc. I mean,
Ring any
Lucy,
bells, listeners?
Pigpen.
Ever heard of
List
them?
goes on. Yeah. They are on merchandise galore. They're on shows galore. They're on your favorite holiday specials, which is now streaming on Apple Plus during the holidays instead of like ABC or whatever, which is kind of annoying, but pretty sure you can get free Apple Plus, so it's like not a huge deal. Also, I think it's free to anyone for like the 4 or 5 days surrounding any major holiday. In case you were wondering.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But if you ever want to watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving in like March, then you're kind of out of luck.
Do you do that?
Which I've been known.
Okay.
However, the fact with the introduction of like Snoopy in space or the Snoopy show, the new shows, like sometimes I don't even need it. I get my fix elsewhere. All those are also on Apple TV, but
Okay.
you know. Yeah.
So these are new Peanuts shows?
Oh my god, yeah. Are you unfamiliar?
Wow. No, I didn't know that the Peanut IP was still growing.
You don't even know.
Is
Just
it the same
yesterday,
animation style and everything?
I mean, it's a little bit better, but yeah, it's the same characters, same drawing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little clearer, a little bit crisper. The pixels are a little bit higher dose. There's more of them.
Makes sense.
This is not anything to do with my argument yet. I'm just sort of talking about how much I love it to start, but it seems like it's laying a good foundation. I also signed up with my dad for the Snoopy 5K. It's a virtual. You can do a 5K, 10K, or half marathon, and you sign up for it, and they'll send you your bib and your medal and your shirt in the mail. And I think you have to prove that you ran it or something like that. Or if you just pay, maybe not. I don't know if you do. But then you just run it on your own time. And then you get the shirt. And all the proceeds go to veterans affairs.
Nice.
Not veterans having affairs, but their everyday needs.
Funding veterans having affairs. I would hope not.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that needs any funding.
I don't think so.
I might have to double check that. Hopefully that's not where the proceeds are going.
Yeah, definitely read the fine print on that.
Yeah, I will. But it started obviously in 2020 and they just kept it going. And it's the shirts are just so cute. It's just Snoopy, the Snoopy 5K. Anyway, that's great. But back to my argument. Actually, let me just start my argument. My arguments are as follows. First, although Peanuts cartoons have not been around as long as Peanuts legumes, the Peanuts cartoons do have some massive staying power that cannot be denied. I mean, it started in what, like the early 60s, maybe the late 50s, I think early 60s with Charles M. Schultz. Charles S. Schultz? Man, I should really know that. Researching. But started with him. Yeah, Charles M. Schultz. Wow.
Launch date, October 2nd, 1950.
Oh, 1950. Okay. All right, there you go. And to this day, they're still making new shows. People are still extrapolating. That's a word, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know, I've just exercised and I haven't eaten yet, so forgive me. Yeah, they're still extrapolating joy from these characters and wholesomeness to this day. So one, the staying power. It's really quite admirable. Name another cartoon that has that kind of staying power. Yes, there are others. Calvin and Hobbes, for sure. Also, I think you could probably argue that a lot of the
Baby Blues.
Yeah, Baby Blues is amazing. So is Zitz. And
Dilbert,
Zitz is really
good. Yeah,
Zitz
Dilbert,
is good.
classic.
Dilbert is amazing. But like Peanuts, you know, it's the OG, right? You can't top it. Also, the characters are adorable and cute. I mean, Snoopy, what a cute name. Also, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but what kind of dog is Snoopy? He's a beagle. And why is he a beagle? Because Charles M. Schultz thought that beagle was a funny word. And he was like, Snoopy doesn't actually even look anything like a beagle, but I'm going to tell everyone that he's a beagle because it's a funny word and it just works with the cuteness of the show. And I was like, you know what? You are right, Charles.
Genius. Well, how did he come up with the name Snoopy? Also because it's a funny word?
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it for sure. I do have several other arguments to add here, and that just reminded me, for whatever reason, when you said coming up with the names, my thought immediately went to how he came up with the iconic outfits. Charlie Brown's zigzag yellow and black shirt.
Iconic, yeah.
He was wearing oversized clothing and had a capsule wardrobe before any influencer ever even was like born. You know? He was out there just being an environmentalist by never buying more clothes. Unless he just had a whole entire closet of the same shirt. Which, if I were more familiar with Peanuts lore, which I hope to be one day, I would know if there was a cartoon where they went into a closet and he had a bunch of the same shirts lined up, but I'm not sure. I think that he just wears the same one every day and washes it, which, like, wow, mad props.
I mean, how much money is he spending on soap to wash it every day?
That's true. Also, what kind of soap does he use? Is it mostly water? Because then he's just wasting money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But this me not knowing all the details doesn't mean that the details don't exist. Let me pull up one of my bookmarked articles that I've had in my phone for quite some time. It is the baseballreference.com page on Joe Slobotnik, who is a fictional baseball player featured in the Peanuts comic strip. The details of this character, who was just a minor guy that was Charlie Brown's favorite baseball player that was mentioned a few times, but think about all the detail that went into the world that Charles Schultz created. Listen to this article. Slobotnik was often mentioned as Charlie Brown's favorite player. Brown spent much of his free time trying to hunt down Joe memorabilia, baseball cards, autographs, personal meetings, and organized a Joe Slobotnik fan club, complete with a newsletter, which folded after one issue. Do you remember when we were going to put out a newsletter, Matt?
Vaguely, too. We did.
I vaguely remember that.
Charlie Brown out there.
Wow, we didn't even make one. We had grand plans.
It was a great idea.
Charlie Brown outdid us. It absolutely was. And there was something about some dog that was supposed to be mentioned in the newsletter. And I remember
our imaginary pet pig.
Yes. What was it named, Bob? We sound insane, and I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole idea was birthed and died at the bar
within a few hours.
Yeah, within a few hours. Okay, listen to this article only gets better if anyone wants to look into it. So, Schlabotnik was demoted to the minors after having a .004 batting average over an entire season. His one hit was a bloop single with his team comfortably ahead. His greatest achievements included making spectacular plays on routine fly balls and throwing out a runner who had fallen down between first and second. After being sent down to the Green Grass League, a bush league in parentheses, Schlabotnik retired as a player and agreed to manage the Waffletown Syrups. Sadly, he was fired after only one game after calling for a squeeze play with no one on base.
I think his greatest achievement is playing an entire season with a .004 batting average.
It's like getting nothing right on the SAT. Like, that is impressive in and of itself.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
That is one of the best things. I mean, and also the fact that Charles wrote all this into his thing. It's incredible. Yeah. Linus Van Pelt once invited Schlabotnik to a testimonial dinner for Charlie Brown. Unfortunately, the ball player got lost en route from his day job at a car wash. Another time, he was scheduled to appear at a sports banquet where fans could dine with their favorite athletes. The guest list included Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Jack Nicklaus, and Peggy Fleming. And Charlie Brown, Linus, and Snoopy bought tickets to sit at Joe's table. He was the only athlete who didn't show up, explaining later that he had marked the wrong event, city, and date on his calendar. Charlie Brown never did meet his hero.
Oh, what a tragedy.
And that's why they say, never meet your heroes. Because Charlie Brown was doing it right.
Wow. What a rich, I didn't realize there was such a rich Peanutsverse out there.
Oh my God, you wouldn't even know, Matthew. It just goes on for days. Oh, that's so good. It's so good. And then on top of that, they talk about companionship, all the lessons in like A Charlie Brown Christmas about like, oh, hey, you know, it's not about having the most beautiful, full, voluptuous tree trimmed to a T with tinsel and bells and whistles. It is about having friends around a table, sharing a meal, and the gifts of their presence, and also just having a funny little scraggly tree in the background that lives on in history. Also, just like the classic comedy bits of this, where like Linus pulling out the football.
Yeah.
That's just pure comedy. Timeless.
Well, I mean, to play devil's advocate is.
Oh no.
Is Peanuts promoting bullying?
Oh no. You know what I think they're promoting? I think they're promoting the humanity of it all.
Okay.
Because they're showing all the goodness, but then they're also showing that people make mistakes. They aren't perfect. Sometimes they give into temptation. And it's important to show the dark side of things, which is why social media is such a plague on society. It was the original social commentary, in my opinion.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't realize your answer would be so deep, but I'm glad I asked the question.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for just making my argument even more ironclad.
Uh-huh. Yeah, of course.
I could go on for days, obviously. But I think the main points of my argument are staying power. It's no legume in that department. But if we look at some of the longest running comics and how long newspaper comics have even been around, it's probably, it's up there. And secondly, it's wholesome. It's cute. It's very detailed. And you got to admire the writing. And Charlie Brown was an environmentalist. He taught about friendship with Snoopy. Snoopy and Woodstock, too, also had a great friendship that one must not deny. They razzed on each other at times. but
Mhm.
they were always there for each other when it came down to it. Also, their feats of strength throughout the show. A lot of times, this little dog and this little bird are like carrying things, and you just got to say, man, that thing is stronger than an ant in terms of its ratio to its body mass. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Aren't like carpenter ants the strongest fire ants compared to their
Yeah,
bodies? They can
yeah,
just like
ants can
carry a whole
carry like
chip on their
1,000
back.
times their own weight or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but they never looked into Woodstock and his breed and how
Yeah,
how
they
they
haven't
handle things.
calculated that. Not that I've seen, at
It's
least.
it's important. And then lastly, the whole social commentary on them not being perfect, but them being good at their core and trying their best. And really also the beautiful music that comes out of all the
Do do do
peanuts
do do
cartoons.
do do do
Exactly.
do 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 do.
Exactly. Thank you for adding to my argument. One last thing about the music is I'm pretty sure on the official Peanuts soundtrack, they even included a famous Beethoven song. It is escaping me at the moment, but it's there. And you know that's worldly, that's cultured. And in closing, I think that Peanuts is one of the greatest inventions of the modern age.
Wow, outstanding. What is the I get the Peanut holiday specials, the TV show. What is the cartoon trying to accomplish? What is its purpose?
I think it's supposed to put a smile on your face, Matthew.
Okay. I just okay. Well, that's good.
Do Peanuts do that to you?
Um I don't know. I feel like the Peanuts cartoon and the Baby Blue cartoon is sometimes just cute, wholesome, not quite funny. It's something though. It's like bread. It's
It's
there.
sort of like nostalgia,
It's it's
right?
always there. Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as Don Draper says, nostalgia is like the pain from an old wound. It's delicate but potent. And
Mhm.
that's what Peanuts is.
Very good. I like that. Okay. Now that we've heard all about cartoons, I want to talk to you today about Peanuts, the food. And since let's
Boo. Okay, sorry.
no, how dare you? Let's start with a little history. Peanuts, did you know that peanuts are native to South America?
Hey, that's where you are
Peru,
right now. Oh, not
Bolivia,
Peru, but
Argentina, and Brazil. In the area, I'm nearby, a neighbor, if you will.
hi,
So,
neighbor.
so if we're talking about longevity, peanuts have been around in the cultures there before the Spanish arrived. The plant's name in Nahuatl is Tlaclachutl or
I think
Clacklahoodle.
is that the common
Clacklahoodle.
spelling?
The common spelling?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have no idea, to be
got
honest.
it.
But the name in Spanish is cacahuate,
Oh,
which,
I knew that.
yeah, so it's close.
Fun
That's
to
where it's
say.
derived from, is the original, like, native South American name. And it was peanuts were offered for sale in the marketplace of Tenochtitlan, if you remember that historical site. So a lot of
I
history.
actually have been there.
Yeah, I thought maybe you've been to Peru.
Yeah.
So talk about history, and they still been around, and we're still selling them. Do you know where they're most often sold?
On street
Baseball
corners.
parks.
Oh, that too. Oh, I should. You know what? You set that up,
Yep.
and I just dropped the ball.
Yeah. I mean, really, So take me out to the ball game, buy me some peanuts. This is This is a long and storied history of peanuts, the food, across the Americas.
I will say I'm smiling.
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, peanuts are great. And fun fact, we've alluded to this already. While peanuts are similar in taste and nutritional profile to tree nuts, such as walnuts and almonds, they aren't tree nuts. They are
They're
legumes.
legumes.
Yes. That's because a nut is a fruit whose ovary wall becomes hard at maturity.
Oh,
And peanuts do not fit this definition because they produce their fruit in a pod. And they
that is
actually have
true.
more in common with snow peas than actual nuts.
We produce our fruit in a pod. Cast.
Yes. Exactly.
I don't know what that
Shut
means,
it
but it seemed
down.
good. Our fruits of knowledge.
The fruits of knowledge, fruits of labor.
Not to interrupt, but I will once again. But this is more an addition than an interruption. It could be both, I suppose. But don't peanuts engage in the process of denitrification in soil, which helps with like maintaining soil quality so that people can continue to grow crops?
Yes, I read that. It
What
didn't
is the
include it
peanuts
in my
role?
argument because I didn't think it was interesting enough.
You know
but
what?
it
I
is
think it's actually one of the most interesting things.
Okay, I'm sorry. I underestimated the utility of peanuts. They're important in crop rotations.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
Farming runs the world, so.
That's true. Here's something I wrote down that's not as important, but I thought was more interesting. Peanuts are known as monkey nut in the UK.
What are they doing over there?
I don't know. What are they doing? Why have they butchered our language that America invented?
I am inclined to find out the origins of that term, though. I don't think that the peanut looks like a monkey.
No, maybe just
unless
monkeys
they
like
think
to
it
eat
does.
them. Well,
Do
let's
they?
think about it. South America, obviously Amazon rainforest, plenty of monkeys. Maybe they're eating the peanuts. That's how. That's how people in the UK know about them. I don't know. They just use weird words. That's my explanation.
Yeah, put this monkey nut in the boot.
Put that monkey nut in the boot.
That's code for put this peanut in the trunk.
Blimey! Oh boy. All right, now enough of that nonsense. Let's talk about a real American staple, peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, the real question,
PB&J.
crunchy or smooth?
Honestly, you can do either way, but I've always been a smooth man.
I am a crunchy man. Through and through.
Take it however you like. PB&J, classic American lunch staple, top tier sandwich, and peanut butter and the peanut, essential ingredient. And
if not the ingredient.
If not, I mean, one of three for sure.
Yeah. What else is in there?
Oh, and butter? Peanut butter, you mean?
Yeah. Water? Presumably?
Yeah, water. Like salty water, I think.
Probably some sort of high fructose corn syrup in the US.
Well, depending on the brand.
Yeah, because if you hadn't gotten the really like natural peanut butter and then it's like liquid at the top and then really hard at the bottom and then you gotta mix it up.
Yeah, but so you can make peanut butter with obviously ground peanuts that have been roasted, sugar, salt, oils, and additives that prevent separation. So they add some stuff to make the nice creamy stuff, but
The dark side to
yummy.
peanuts are that if you are buying natural peanut butter because you're anti-seed oil, which is a reasonable take, you could very easily get tennis elbow from mixing up your peanut butter.
Ooh, you do have to watch out for that. Where does tennis elbow come from? Is that really is that an actual elbow injury, or is it like a rotator cuff thing?
I think it's like the tendon in your elbow.
Okay. Well, there's some
What
stretches and
is
exercises you can do to alleviate that tendonitis.
tennis elbow is lateral epicondylitis. It's when the tendons in your elbow are overloaded.
Yeah. Well, don't overwork it. If you're buying the natural peanut butter without the additives, don't overwork yourself, Just mix it well, but don't
I
strain
saw this
yourself.
thing where people would just get a hand mixer and stick it in the peanut butter and
Great. Love that.
yeah.
But
Side
you know
note,
what
but
else? A
in
side note.
October,
Go ahead.
sorry, interrupting again. I need to stop apologizing and just do it.
Just do it.
In October, when we carved pumpkins, I tried that viral hack, as they say, of like egg beaters inside to clean out the inside edges after you really like gutted it. My God, it worked like a charm. Highly recommend.
Oh, wow. Great tip. Okay. And lastly, but not leastly, you can eat peanuts for free at Five Guys restaurant.
Oh my God. That is such a good point. And you could just throw them on the floor in some places.
Yeah. You don't need to. That's unnecessary, but someone will clean them eventually.
Wasn't that a thing in like some dive bars with like, oh yeah, there's peanuts on the floor?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Wow.
fan of just throwing shells on the floor.
Well, the thing is, you just summon our pig, and then he'll just.
Yeah, you're right.
That
It's like
probably was the origin of that.
Yeah. Pigs are like the Hoovers of animals.
Oh my
Or
God.
the Dyson.
Speaking of Hoover in vacuums, I saw this thing on Shark Tank, and it was a regular broom, and then on the corner it has a tiny little vacuum. So you broom up, and then you just flip it on its side, and it just vacuums up the crumbs. You don't have to plug it in or anything. It's battery powered. And I just thought, big dustpan is shaking in its boots right now, seeing that ad.
They are lobbying. Big Dustpan is
Oh my
lobbying.
God, yeah. They're like, holy smokes. We've been sitting on our laurels for far too long.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That is a disruption to the big dustpan industry. That is going to
Where
shake
are
things
your laurels?
up. Isn't it like your butt, like your hindquarters?
Yeah, but why don't we use that in other contexts? Oh, rest on your laurels.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the meaning. But where does it come from? I think it's very old, maybe. Ancient Greece.
Crowns made of laurel wreaths as
Mhm.
symbols of victory, success, and status. Oh, so you're just hanging back like, oh, I'm good. It's like the tortoise and the hare. There's
Alright,
nothing like
doesn't
a
apply.
good old saying, as long as it's not, racist or sexist or bigoted.
Yes. Anyways, to recap, peanuts, the food. Long and storied history across the Americas that continues to this day, especially at American ballparks where peanuts are a staple, and Five Guys restaurants. Honestly, also an American staple, at least in the East. And
Year 2 in the West.
Peanuts, despite the name, is Five Guys is in California?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, huge.
Now
Probably
you have a
because of
reason
the
to visit.
peanuts. Yeah, finally. And despite the name, they're not a nut. So it's really a misnomer, and that's fun. And monkey nut is funny.
That is funny.
And PB&J.
You know what? I'd just like to one little point to maybe just slightly refute yours is that you said it's really
Right.
big in the Americas. That may be true, but Peanuts the cartoon is international. And with Snoopy in
How
space,
international?
it's actually goes beyond Earth and into space. Has a peanut ever been taken into space? Snoopy's been
Has
to space.
a peanut ever been in outer space?
I know the
It has
first
to be
dog
a
in space. I don't know the first peanut in space.
NASA releases first photo of space peanut. What is that? 1 billion miles beyond Pluto of a so-called space peanut. Explain yourself. Express.co.uk. What?
Asteroid Cleopatra is named after the famous Egyptian queen and is shaped somewhere between a peanut and a bone.
I don't know what a space peanut is. This article doesn't explain it well enough.
There's asteroids that are shaped like peanuts. Might be the space peanut.
Why space people eats peanuts at launches?
That's
a
at the
video
launch.
someone made.
That's not in space.
Well, if peanuts are fueling our outer spacemen and women, I feel like they're playing a role in space travel.
So Snoopy though, so I guess we're at a standstill.
Yeah. Tie. We'll call it a tie on that account.
Yeah. I agree.
And other cultures also eat peanuts. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
That's true. Aren't there a lot of good like peanut-based curries?
Yep. Definitely.
Yum.
Peanuts are used in sauces around the
All right,
world.
fine. I guess I can't refute it, but I would just like to say that both are quite worldly.
Yeah, agreed. All right. How are we going to score this then? I think we both gave perfect arguments, to be honest. Has
I
that ever
honestly
happened?
think, is it possible to have a tie? I don't know if we've had a tie before. We probably have, but
I think we both get a perfect score, whatever that is.
I think, yeah. I mean, because our scale does shift every time, then why not just this episode make our scale 1 to 10 and give us both 10s?
Great. Perfect. I agree.
I think that Matthew, I think you did a tremendous job.
I think you did an amazing job.
Thank you. And frankly, I was trying to think about it. I was like, would I rather live in a world without the Peanuts cartoon or the Peanuts legume? And for me, it's a toss-up. So I think that they're pretty equally weighted. And I'm glad that we argued them, but we sort of come down to the consensus that they pretty much have equal weight in society.
Yeah. I think the world is a better place because we had this debate.
And because we have peanuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Settled. Wow. Are we getting soft, Matthew?
In our old age.
We might be.
How long have we been doing this podcast?
I mean, I think we started in 2019.
Yeah, something like that, I want to say.
4 years, but I don't even think we've broken 20 episodes, but we'll get there.
Yeah, but, that's usually when podcasts get soft, starting to soften up.
That is true. That is so true.
Yeah.
Should we take a little break?
The edge next time. Yeah, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about winter activities right after this.
Ahoy! Welcome back, mateys.
Ahoy. Cherry
Ahoy, hoy. There's that episode of The Simpsons where, oh God, I'm sorry, I would never really watched a lot of The Simpsons because my
My
parents
mom
didn't
didn't
let
like
us
it.
when we were younger.
Yeah. Why is
Yeah,
that?
what was that? I
I
don't
don't know.
know. Like, I never really thought of my parents as like strict. They were, I mean, I didn't have like a curfew and I just sort of, lived life. But like,
Right.
for whatever reason, when I was little, it was like no MTV and no Simpsons. It's like, okay. But meanwhile, we were watching Seinfeld. Like,
Yeah.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
It's unexplainable.
But there's an episode where the old dude, this is embarrassing. I don't know his name
I
off
have
the
no
top of my
idea.
head, but he answers the phone and he says, "Ahoy, hoy." And the bit is, it's because he's so old that he answers the phone like uh, Alexander Graham Bell wanted people to answer the phone initially, which was he wanted people to say ahoy, hoy.
Oh, that's right. That's funny.
Isn't that
That's a
funny?
little
It's like a subtle
yeah,
ahoy,
so
hoy.
smart. Um it's
Montgomery
almost too smart.
Burns.
Montgomery Burns. I don't know any Simpsons characters. I don't think I've never ever watched a single episode in my life, to be honest.
Mr. Burns. Ahoy. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, classic little nugget there.
Why did
Uh,
A.G. Bell want that to be the greeting?
I think that he was a nautical fiend.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
Well, that's good
Nothing
enough
more to it.
explanation for me. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually, yeah, so Thomas Edison was the one that popularized the use of hello.
Wow, just stealing inventions left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, because that Edison guy didn't do anything.
No, he's lazy, honestly.
So I think that our plan here is we're going to discuss wintertime activities because I feel as though the things that occupy my time in the winter vastly different than things that occupy my time in the summer. And that is a product of the fact that obviously you're indoors more. But I just thought that this winter in particular, also I would like to throw in the fact that you are currently in Colombia where it is warm all the time.
Yeah.
And I am currently in Los Angeles where it's quite mild all the time. And yet we're talking about wintertime activities, but that subtle little drop does somehow, impede your regular activities. But lately I have been with my sister. I go on a run to a local diner and then I meet my sister there and then we play cards and eat pancakes. And then we came up with the idea. We were like, okay, you know what we should do is we should host a euchre tournament at the local Kiwanis Club. And then we were getting really into it because, as with most things, as we discussed with my yin yoga earlier in the episode, I can't just like half-ass anything. I either just completely don't do it or I just go on hard mode, like with anything. And so I was like, okay, yeah, we've been playing cards casually a few times here. Let's just start a tournament and host an event with like 100 people playing euchre. Unfortunately, it was quite expensive to rent out the Kiwanis Club. I mean, relative to what one would expect. So that plan quickly went down the drain and fell into the category of doing nothing once again. But loved that idea.
Maybe you guys just host this at another venue.
Right. But I mean, I wanted it to be big.
Yeah. Well, we'll think about it.
So there, yeah. I guess in theory, I could just host it at home with like 4 people.
No, that's not the same. It has to be an event space.
So true. I know. I was like, should I get an Airbnb?
wouldn't
Airbnb.
a bar? Yeah, our Airbnb in Colombia. Wouldn't a bar be interested in hosting such an event like on a Tuesday night or something where they, don't have
That's actually genius. When I
usual
move back to New
traffic?
York in 2 weeks, and going to contact a bar about hosting a trivia night and a euchre night.
Nice. Yeah.
The euchre night could maybe be once a month or once a quarter.
Sure. It doesn't have to be all the time. I don't know how many people are that passionate about euchre.
Dude, there's a lot of Midwesterners in these parts, and these parts mean
I'd be
everywhere in the world.
interested. Mhm.
I do the same. For those of you who don't know what euchre is, it's a timeless card game that is beloved by people in the Midwest, and you should research it. I think it's quite similar to gin rummy, is it not?
I don't know enough about gin rummy to say for sure, to be honest.
I don't know gin. It's not even funny. But came to my mind.
What's the
So I said it.
what's the go-to bar in New York now then?
Well, I'm moving neighborhoods, so I gotta find a new spot.
TBD.
TBD. However, I do think that we should always return to our tried and true if and when we are ever in the same place again.
Totally.
But yeah, so cards. But then we were like, all right, we sort of hit let's put a feather in that cap of the euchre night. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start going bowling. So then I tried to just organize this casual bowling night, and then it ballooned into a bowling night for 18 people, most of whom I did not know, but sort of just happened that way. And then the problem was that the bowling alley, initially we were going to go to Bolero, which is all around LA, but then it was going to be like $600 for us to go bowling. And I was like, bro, I am not putting that on my credit card because I don't know most of these people and I'm going to get back like $60. So no, I'm not doing that. So then I was going to go to the bowling alley that we used to go to for all of our birthday parties growing up. And I was like, great. But they have an online reservation system, but it was not working. It wouldn't let me book. It was like for a Monday night too. I was like, what is going on? Also, props to me for getting 18 people together to go bowling on a random Monday night, but love that.
Yeah.
So then I called the bowling alley, and the guy was like, well, you gotta book online. And I was like, yeah, I tried. And he was like, oh, actually, it's been down. And I was like, okay. He was like, we'll book on Monday morning. And I was like, got it. So then I wake up Monday morning and I go online and there's no spots available. And I was like, what's the deal? So I called them again, and then the guy was like, let me put you through to my manager. And then he put me through, and then it went to voicemail. And I was like, this is a disaster. So I texted the people that I did know that were coming, and I was like, hey, we can either spend $600 and go to Bolero, which is insane. I think the whole point of me bringing this up is like, why is bowling so expensive in Los Angeles? That is nuts.
That's crazy.
Didn't you say it's like $5 a game in Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah, I think just the normal. Bowling is usually very cheap.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing. And then I was like, no, I don't think we're going to go bowling. Well, I gave 4 ideas. I put A, B, C, and D, 4 ideas. And then people stopped responding, and it was a whole thing. And then I ended up just going to dinner with 3 other people and just nixing the whole thing. But then I found another bowling alley like 20 minutes away that's been there since 1947. And they were so lovely on the phone. I mean, this was like a few days later. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try to look. But I'm not going to go with 18 people this time. I'm going to try to keep it smaller. I learned my lesson. And I called them, and they were so nice. And they were, unfortunately, we have a bowling league on Thursday nights. And lo and behold, the bowling league that he was talking about was one that one of my friends was in. I was like, this is nuts.
What are the odds?
I play beach volleyball with this person every Saturday morning. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, have you heard of this bowling alley? He's like, yeah, I bowl there every Thursday night with my league. We went to Vegas last weekend. I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. So long story short, wintertime activities, cards, bowling. I was hitting some walls with both of these. So then I got into the classic pastime of mine, which is buying vintage clothing online. I can do that any time of day and without reservation. It is, however, quite expensive. And I'm in a feud with a seller at the moment over a jacket that was claimed to be leather, and I received it, and it is clearly polyurethane. And I don't know how to prove it to the Poshmark people that It is not, because they asked me to send a photo, but a photo of faux leather and a photo of leather looks quite similar. And this is where I sort of am with my wintertime activities. Oh, which is why I'm going to yin yoga tonight, trying a new thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's a predicament with the clothing. Well, at least you're staying busy with everything during winter.
Yes. Although if you would ask my parents, they'd be like, Aarin, she never leaves her room. It's like I'm 17 again.
You're busy buying vintage clothing.
It's so true, and it's all so cute.
And having your bowling reservations denied.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started, she says after going on a rant on it for 15 minutes. What have you been occupying your time with, Matthew?
Watching football. That's a great winter activity.
What did you think of the ending of the Bengals game?
Rigged. The NFL's rigged. They called it in. They told the refs, you have to make the Chiefs win. Literally, dude, that's how I feel about it. That was such bullshit. The number of missed calls and calls against the Bengals were ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. Football is frustrating. And some days I wake up in the middle of the night and I go, oh my god, and I forget how bad that kick was at the end of the Ohio State game a few weeks back.
Dude. Oh. Yeah, now rough. I'm going to have nightmares of it. I had honestly...
You needed a wintertime activity!
That was my wintertime activity. And then for a month, the wintertime activity has been trying to erase that from my memory.
Well, you failed.
Yeah. I was doing well. I had forgotten. I was like, oh my god.
I know it's been a month, but can we just point out that it was actually the kicker, the holder, not the kicker?
Was it?
The guy holding the ball after he missed the kick. Yeah, let's rehash old problems. After he kicked it, he immediately went and consoled the guy, the holder. And it made me think maybe the hold was messed up.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Now I'm gonna watch a replay and see whose fault it was. It doesn't matter.
It's important to get to the bottom of what 18-year-olds are doing.
Yeah. No, the fault was Ryan Day calling a run.
Oh my god, that was painful. I was
not trying to get more yards.
Oh my god, I know. Get him in range.
Goal, dude. Oh my god.
Like, oh man, let me just try to get this guy to.
It's not his fault that he's trying a 50-yarder, dude. And oh my god.
Has he done it before? Yes. Has he done it before in that situation? No.
Yeah. Whatever. So, anyways, I'm done with football as a wintertime activity. Now it's officially basketball season.
Basketball.
Not that I love basketball. Not that Ohio State basketball is in any better shape by any means.
No, I would agree. I would definitely agree. It's quite. Also, is that one guy like still on the team? I feel like he was on the team for like 15 years.
Aaron Kraft.
I saw him at a Grater's Ice Cream in Columbus one time.
That's exactly where I would expect you to see Aaron Kraft.
Yeah, that man is so wholesome. All he does is eat ice cream and like, I don't know, like sing show tunes.
I bet Aaron Kraft loves Peanuts, the cartoon.
Oh, he probably does. And you admit it's wholesome. You admit it.
No, it is. No doubt.
He probably eats peanuts too at a baseball game.
Oh,
yeah, he's
definitely.
He's an all-American boy.
Yeah.
No, was his last name like? Oh God, who knows? He was out there though for like forever. The other dude I was thinking of. This is now. Normally we just turn this into a baseball podcast, but we have just turned this into an Ohio State podcast here at the end here.
Well,
what I've come to realize.
Not a winter activity.
No, but pitchers and catchers report soon, so we can return to our
Next
original
episode. Next episode.
Also, I do think that Dexter Fowler retired from baseball today, or officially. So, right? Yeah, so
Huge
that's a baseball
news.
thing. Got to throw that in.
Really got overshadowed a bit by Tom Brady retiring once again.
You know what? Slightly overshadowed. I think I'm probably the only person in the history of the world that mentioned Dexter Fowler's retirement before Tom Brady's.
Well, you heard it here first. Reported first on Unhealthy Discourse.
That's true, yeah. For those of you who weren't aware. I think that we could pretty much say, in summation, our wintertime activities have been getting upset at things.
Yeah. Not to mention taxes.
Oh my god. Classic.
I mean,
A classic pastime.
I have to amend my tax return from last year.
Get on it.
I know.
Just go do H&R Block.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it online.
TurboTax or H&R Block?
H&R Block. Their system was down. I tried to do this back in December, but it wouldn't let me.
My question is, what do they do for most of the year?
Chill. This guy, so to do this amending of the tax returns, I went to a actual H&R Block location, and I talked to this sweet old man who reminded me of my dad, in the sense that he explained every single thing that he was doing. And even
did he go, water flows downhill?
He didn't. He did that except with taxes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he wasn't a civil engineer.
Matt's dad is a civil engineer and loves to remind people of the fact that water flows downhill.
And my dad loves to talk, and this guy also loved to talk. And
I miss your dad and your mom and your siblings.
They're all doing
and your
well.
Niece and your wife.
You'll see him at the wedding. It's only a few months away now.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I'm excited for the wedding.
Anyways. I don't have a purpose of this tax story. It's boring. The guy was nice. Oh, he was telling me that he's like semi-retired, and they have him like retire during the off season every year and then hire him back. It's very bizarre.
Oh, so he's like a contractor, sort of.
Kind of. Or
that's interesting. I wonder what he does about his health benefits.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe his wife was covering it. He might have said. He probably told me. I don't remember every detail of the conversation. It was
the funniest thing about this episode is that it's pretty much just turned into a phone call between the two of us.
That's, I think, what all of the episodes are.
It's pretty much just been like,
hi, people are listening.
Oh yeah, what have you been up to? how's your dad doing?
We should definitely charge people for our phone calls between each other.
Oh man, vanity is a crime of which we are guilty, because it's like, oh, let's do a regular catch-up call and have it posted online for others to listen to for their entertainment.
That should honestly be like the catchphrase of this podcast.
Yep. But we enjoy it. And so do others. So do our listeners. Thank you, those of you out there. I hope you enjoy the Instagram graphics that I've been putting on there.
More to come.
I do think that our next episode, we are going to bring back one of our tried and true guests, John.
Okay.
He has been eager to rejoin, and we are eager to have him back.
Always a beloved friend and guest host of the podcast.
True. In summation, I hope you guys find some wintertime activities that don't make you upset, because we've been unsuccessful on that front, but we thought we'd share which ones were dead ends for us so you don't make the same mistakes.
Yes.
And Snoopy rules. Over and out. This was
I'm still writing
Discourse.
Down. What did you say? Vanity is a crime of which we are guilty? Was that it?
I did say that.
That's officially our tagline from now on. Our old tagline, which I don't think was ever a tagline, was gonna be, I was about to say something off color, but I don't think we ever really used it. I like this one. I like the new one better.
I think this is the new season's tagline.
Yeah,
The
new
season 2023.
Season 23. New podcast, new
I-
us. Same podcast.
I love
new
it.
us.
I love that I've tried to log off once and failed, and so we're gonna give it another go. As always, this was Unhealthy Discourse. I'm Aarin.
I'm Matt. Peanuts over and out.
Adios,
Ahoy hoy.
amigos. Ahoy hoy.